आपका सेशन है 3 बजे, आप आए नहीं? आपका सेशन है ना 3 बजे? वेलकम वीरेंद्र सर।
Hi everyone.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. Shall we start, or do we want to wait us?
Yes, Akhil, can you please introduce?
So, sir, you were audible. Can you please repeat?
Akhil, I am saying, can you please
introduce sir?
Yes, sir. Shall we start then?
Yes, clearly.
Yes, clearly.
Good afternoon. This session is organized by Alumni Cell of College and coordinated by Mr. Ankit, Assistant Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Before proceeding further, I would like to introduce myself. I am Akhil Singh, pre-finally a student of Computer Science and Engineering.
Yes, clearly.
Yes,
I would
clearly.
like to introduce today's guest, Mr. Veerendra Choudhary. This session is organized by Alumni Cell of College. Currently, he is working as a product manager at LTI Mindtree. Thank you for joining us today. We may take over the session.
Thank you, Akhil. Okay, thank you everyone for joining in. Let me share my screen. I don't see the presentation, or you still seeing?
Yes, we are not able
Yes,
to
we are not able to see
see
the
the
presentation.
Because I think it's people can switch with Okay, now you can see the presentation?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. No need to call me sir. My team we just replace me. And generally in IT people don't call sir, even we don't call sir, even very very senior people also. So that's why it's academic. Okay, so my name is Veerendra Choudhary. Okay, and I'm currently working with LTI Mindtree, which is like Indian company only, basically. Before that, I've been working with different tools. Okay. So before we start, basically the topic is, everyone. I don't think there would be anyone who don't know basics about AI, right? What is AI? What is management, what's product management. I think everyone knows, right? I think everyone, each of you will be compatible with English, Hindi, or mix of both. I'll go up on
So you can carry on with English.
Okay, fine. So when we say AI, let me just this now. So that now I think GPT is good. So what do you guys think? Okay, so first of all, I think we should have it bit of interactive session so that you guys do not get bored. I don't think you will get bored in AI and ML stuff, but definitely in the product management stuff, you may get bored. It's more of like software engineering, which you guys might have went through. So, what do you think is AI is actually? Anyone? What is artificial intelligence when we say? Okay, fine. So, robotics, not actually the AI, because generally we take AI as robotics. Yeah, robotics is one of the use cases of AI, but that's not exactly the AI. Okay, there are multiple components in robotics. One component is AI as part of robotics, right? And apart from that, AI has a lot of use cases in techniques and different skill sets required for any AI engineer or ML engineer. Right? So AI, when it comes to the definition of I think it's okay. So AI is like from definition perspective, is obviously like intelligence of any machine or software. In terms of how we see the human intelligence, in similar fashion, if the intelligence is coming from machine or software, right, that's artificial intelligence. There is no rocket science. It's simple enough. The artificial intelligence, what itself is telling what it is, right? But how this works, like is if we see like the descriptive definition is like is a field basically. It's not even a singular thing. It's a complete field where there are lot many things are involved inside of the AI and data science system, right? So it's an interdisciplinary field. It means that there are multiple interdependent things involved into this, right? It's not a singular thing. So this is like which includes mathematics, statistics. You might have sometimes you might have learned about linear regression algorithm. These things comes as part of the statistics, right? So all these things are part of your AI and ML journey. Then cognitive science, computing, all these things become like part of the AI. And obviously, if you do work of such such complex work, then obviously you need high performance computers that interact with any AI work or to do. Okay. So when we covered AI, right, okay, so I'm telling this because see, I'm not an AI or ML engineer. I'm not that technical person in AI ML. My work is around AI ML product management. Okay, so I create and manage a team of AI. I have all things right that will come in other slides. That a product when we create a product, when we develop a product, be it AI product or any other development product, there are a lot many things involved. So before that, I just want to touch upon the basics of AI, which is the technology we are referring to here, right? AI, these are the three terms terminologies. Just give me a minute. Okay, sorry for that. So these are the three terminologies which we generally come across, right? AI, ML, and DL, deep learning. So it's nothing but you will get to know more about this in further slides. But basically, it's like a AI is a subset. Like everything, the ML, DL, different house, all this system like different learning methodologies, machine. All this is part of AI, right? So which becomes like data science in itself. Data science is also we can say a subset of AI, right? But ML and deep learning, these are like core component when we work on any AI implementation. So we have to have either some ML algorithm or deep learning algorithm, right? So machine learning algorithm is nothing but like we are training the machine, we are telling the computer that okay, now based this is the data, based on the data, we teach the machine first, right? Once the machine is learned about some information, then only machine can predict or tell us, give us some output based on that learning. So that's how machine learning is. And deep learning involves more complex neural networks. So it's basically like in deep learning, it's like regressive learning for the machine using different techniques, and it's mostly automated. When it comes to machine learning, it's more of like ML engineers training the machine with different data sets. But when it comes to deep learning, it's more of like automated process using the neural networks. Okay. So these are like trendy terms. I just noted down here. Some of these, most of these, terminologies you may come across. So I just kept them here to tell a bit about them. So basically, the you will hear the federated learning. Okay. So when we say learning, now you know the machine learning and deep learning. Okay. Let's focus on machine learning first. Deep learning is more advanced thing. More advanced. Let's focus on machine learning, which is most of the AI products. When we say most of the AI products use machine learning in today's world. Okay. Deep learning like very bigger and bigger implementations using deep learning as well. For example, when we say auto driving cars, okay, which are there in many countries, auto driving cars, or when we say like the predictive analysis and facial recognition systems. So in those systems, we use deep learning as well. Okay. So this picture, can anyone elaborate this picture? I think it's self explanatory, right? Anyone want to tell about this? Anyone? Okay, fine. So this is like when we say any image processing system. It's like when we select facial recognition system, that's also a part of image processing system. Okay? So it's telling like how that actually works. It's not that it captures one image and it stores all the images and based on that it's giving the prediction. Okay, it's not that way. It's like system processes the image file in a bit by bit manner. Okay, it's stored in bit by bit manner. Based on that, it learns from different. So there is a huge amount of data. If we are having a recognition system like image recognition system, then obviously we'll train the models with a huge amount of data. Based on that, from those from that data, there will be different data pointers, broken data pointers, right? When we are seeing this as an example that okay, how system will learn from these different things that okay, for example, this someone shows that we have trained one model, okay, we trained one page process model. Now based on categories. Okay. Now I ask the system, what is this image about? So how would it identify that this is a cat, not a dog? Cat or dog may look similar, or even in dog category also there are different breed of dogs. Some of the systems recognize a different breed of dogs as well these days. So that recognition happens based on very detailed level analysis of the bitmaps. So it's like system should learn. We should provide enough data of these different species images, right, to the system, so that the neural network can process the data bit by bit and can learn that. Okay, first of all, when we train the system, okay, when we train any model, it's like we are actually labeling the data. Okay, in supervised learning. There is unsupervised learning also. That's a different thing where we do not even label the data. It's process it can process unlabeled data as well. Okay. So you are getting the point, right? So it's like set of learning from these huge amount of data. And based on that learning, now it has capability to understand and give some output based on its previous learning. Okay, now if we ask that what this image is all about, now it will quickly process within its learning and it will tell that okay, this is this breed thing. Okay. So that's how deep learning was. And it's mostly deep learning algorithms are mostly fully automated. So okay, now you know the learning. When I'm saying learning, it's like we are telling the machine, we are training the machine. That's what learning word means in AI data science. So there are different learning methodologies. So one is like federated learning, which is more of like a machine learning. Okay. So in federated learning, it's like, for example, how learning happens. Let me tell you. A very basic example. Let me give you a very basic example. That you have, let's say, you have some huge amount of data of bank transactions for some customers. Okay. If you want to work on some fraud detection mechanism, some banking data, okay, you have a huge amount of data and it's tied to particular customers. Right? Now, when you develop some ML model, okay, ML model is like a blank mind. If you do not train a model, it will tell you nothing because it's a blank mind, right? It will do nothing. Now you have to train the model. What you need to do is that you have to have a huge amount of data, which is like bifurcated in two sets. One is the training data set, which is like generally we keep 70-80% of the data set as training data set and 20-30% comes testing data set. So we need to provide both the data sets to the model. What these models do is that now based on that 70-80% data set, it will learn different behaviors of how some particular customer some particular customer's transaction behavior, that how much generally they use for the online transactions, how much cash they withdraw from ATMs, on what segment, what frequency, all that pattern it can learn from based on data, right? And testing data is used to generally test out that learning, that the learning which is which happened based on this data set is that. So then models are tested, and this process happens multiple times. So it's like that's happened. Blue holes being produced more further learning. Something is like moving further. So federated learning is like this. What I was telling you is some manually, like some ML engineer will go and train one ML model. Okay. It's like manually on one data set, only one specific data set. in federated learning, it's like we train the model on different data sets which are completely independent. Okay, which are completely independent and which can give us some value for some other use cases as well. So that's how it is, and it's more of like we use mostly federated learning where we have data privacy issue, data is of high importance and it's not be available publicly. So in such cases, for example, defense of financial data, some of the IoT applications, healthcare sector, in these sectors we use federated learning. Okay. Supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learnings are like in supervised learning. I told you earlier that in supervised learning, essentially basically label data. When we see that okay, we are using some data to train the model, so data is only labeled. Now, how this is labeled is not that each and every data set some particular person will go and label manually. No, it's like using deep like data quality tools and some other data analytics tools. So using those tools, we apply rules and we can label the data, and that labeled data is processed in a supervised. But in case of unsupervised learning, it's like unlabeled data. It's a complete set of data where we do not know that what data is about which thing. Okay, so it's like it in unsupervised learning algorithm can take care of training the model using such unlabeled data as well. Okay, and reinforcement learning is like trial and error thing that okay, we keep training the model and then testing it out on new data sets and then see on which at what time it behaves perfectly and for which data set. So that's kind of learning is reinforcement learning. MLP, NLP is like, processing we already discussed. NLP is like natural language processing. Okay. So it's more of like, any human language, if some model can learn and behave in human language, that's a natural language processing, as the name is telling, right? So general use cases for NLP is like autocorrection. Like when you are using any mobile phone or any device where autocorrection is working on your keyboard, right? So that's NLP. Email filtering. You see it in Gmail, like it automatically label your emails and into different categories, right? So the VR, like voice recognition. So that's also a use case of NLP. Predictive analysis, as I told you, predictive analysis, fraud detection, kind of things in banking and other areas as well. And then IoT, GenAI, like ChatGPT, you might have heard, right? And RTA, like real-time analysis, that as soon as some data is available, the analysis is ready. So traditionally, what happens, like you guys might have heard about the data visualization, which is nothing but BI, right? Business intelligence tools like Power BI or SAP BU, or a lot of them are there, right? So they are what used to happen, like you may have, I think, one subject like data management, database management system, right? I think into that, and there is one more about data warehouses. Okay. So you might have read about it. I think it was in I think in third year, some time of third year during my time with RTU. So not sure about the current syllabus, but the data warehousing and those database management systems, those are the core. So see, all these things, AI, be it AI, GenAI, IoT, anything, right? It all starts with data, right? Data is like that databases then came like data warehousing systems where ETL is ETL, BI, other flows, okay, with which we treat the data and store finalized treated data into the data warehouses. And based on that, we used to create BI reports. Still, we use a lot of BI reporting tools or BI reports are still in use. It's not that it's ancient technology, but that doesn't serve the purpose which AI solve. Okay. Problem statements which AI and these algorithms can solve, those cannot be addressed by traditional traditional systems like the data visualization or analytics. Okay. But the core part, like the underlying part is the comes from there only. It came like from databases, it emerged to data warehousing systems, then visualize data visualization, right? Then like data more advanced data analytics tools came, and then this ML world evolved, right? Machine learning, AI, machine learning. Then I think somewhere around 2010, so deep learning picked up. So now we have Gen AI as well, right? Gen AI IoT. So this system. So I'm just telling basics. Now I think you know about basics for AI ML. We will move to products and okay. So AI products is like now we know the AI. So AI products is like using AI. Any product which uses AI as a one of the component and uh, gives some meaningful solve some meaningful and real problem statement. When we say problem statement, is that is there some area where people would like to use a solution, okay, so that that problem will be resolved. So for example, search, Google search, okay, so that serves a purpose, right? If you know why you need Google search, so that's a product, right? uh, Anything like obviously in IT, in software industry, the product will be software product only, right? We are not talking about physical products like in any other industry, but when it comes to like integrating the software product with any physical products, that's also happening. Okay, so in case of auto driving cars, right, there is a software product inside of it, right? Then only it's functioning. Similarly, like you talk about Siri, Alexa, right? Those are you have devices. You will have IoT, n number of IoT devices. Those are all IoT examples, right? But underlying functionality is AI. You have to have AI to for the smooth functioning of those devices. So it's like automated system that collect and learn from data to make user facing decisions with machine learning. Okay, so different examples like Netflix. So Netflix, be it Netflix, Amazon, Flipkart, or any such platforms, they use AI for predictive analysis. Okay. Now you know that on any of the account, be it Netflix or your Hotstar, once you start watching something, they will suggest n number of content for you. Okay, and that content is based on your uh, usage, right? Whatever you are interested in, the system is learning from historical data only, right? So that data, whenever you are watching something, this data is going as a feedback to system, and that feedback data becomes a training data. Right? Based on that, auto again trains based on that, and it suggests you the content. Similarly, this is applied in um, e-commerce as well, Amazon, Flipkart, or all those, right? So based on your historical purchases, it will suggest you the products and things, right? So that. Now we know that what is AI, what is AI products. Okay, so what is the product manager? Okay, so I'm telling you this. Okay, so basics is that before going into delve into the product management responsibilities and things like that. So just one thing that when you start, I think you guys can explore these things. So everyone has their own interest when it comes to the work. Okay, One person might be interested in more technical work. So such people, I would recommend that if you are interested in AI ML, then learn about more about AI ML thing. From technical perspective, you have to ace those things. Okay, you have to ace everything on algorithm level, and you have to work on technical work. But if you are interested in uh, business side of this, okay, then comes the product management roles. But there are different roles in product management area. So it starts from fresher level and goes up to any level. Okay, so uh, these are the two major areas you can look upon from this thing. Okay, so when it comes to the product management, okay, there are basically when we if you visualize, okay, any software product, okay, using any technology. I'm not talking about AI product, any product, be it any product, okay, like Finacle from Infosys, which is being used by most of the banks, Indian banks at least, I think outside as well. So that was one of the simple enough product which was used to handle day-to-day banking transactions, right? So that's huge revenue generator to Infosys creates. So any product involves three things on high level. Okay, one is technology. Okay, the underlying technology. So for example, in AI products, it becomes the AI ML stuff. Okay, that's the underlying technology, core technology. Then is the business side of it, business use cases. What is the problem statement you want to solve? Okay, in case of let's say in case of Infosys Finacle, that was the problem statement was to remove the manual manual dependency, human dependency on banking sector, right? Transactional banking we are talking about. So that's a very huge use case, or we can say problem statement. So not each and every product will get that kind of problem statement, but yeah, we have to have a meaningful product problem statement. Then only we can start with a product development journey. Okay, so business side of it is like more about the problem statement and what we need to do, and then obviously other things comes like budgeting, scheduling, and quality and other stuff. Okay, that all falls under your business. And then UX. Okay, UX is very important because see. When I was a student, okay, I just forget sir name. There was one sir, उन्होंने बताया था that in India, okay, specifically in India, and I think in many other countries also, if you want some product to be really like hit a hit product, it should be like SST. SST is Sasta Sundar Tikau. Okay, so Sundar part is UX only, right? When you say Sundar, it's like more of visualization, how your product is like functioning from user perspective, like how user is able to use it, whether user is able to use it conveniently, whether user is able to see all the options they want to see, right? So it has to come from a user stories perspective. What are the user story? Any user story is nothing but the particular use case from end user perspective. For example, like if I'm developing one product which will be used by some, let's say, by some facial recognition app. Okay, so I need to take care of the use cases from that side only. That okay, my focus will be on image processing, and then based on that, on UI, what all things I need to show. Okay, so it's not a single person job. UX thing is never gonna be single person job. It's like based on the user feedback, where you need to get feedback from different customers. So you, any product which is coming from any MNC, like for example, if you talk about Google, okay, they every company comes up with a beta releases, right? what is the use of those beta releases? Beta release, alpha beta releases, the only use is that getting the feedback, end user feedback. So for them, all of us are end user, right? Because we are the one who are using Google search, we are the one who are using Google Chrome, or we are the one who are using any other product, right? From Google mostly. So they need to collect the feedback from end users. Based on that only, they will come to know, because any product manager, be it Google product manager, Microsoft product manager, or any manager, okay, it's God, right? No one of them will get to know each and every use case from user perspective. That has to come from feedback, and that's how product keep evolving. Okay, any product when it comes for the first time, it's like basic prototype thing. Then we keep on adding more features. Are we on time, or maybe, or we are quite behind time? I'm not tracking on time part. Sorry, guys. Yeah, not audible, but that's fine. You can go on mute, maybe. Yeah. Okay. So these are like some pointers about product management. Okay. So when we say difference between easy, hard, and personal machine learning problems. So now we are talking. Okay. So till previous slide we were talking about product management as a whole in general. Okay. But now it's like more about particularly to AI product management. Now just pull back your minds to the AI product management. So when we talk about AI product management, it has to so there are some problems we face is the with the data. Okay, so you have to know your data well. Okay, that's the core. If you know your data very well, then nothing can stop you from becoming a successful product manager in AI. Because data is something which is a fuel for any AI product, right? Data, and then obviously you will learn the technology. And for technology, for a product manager, you will get few good technical people. Okay, they will work the technical side of it, but data and insights, that's something which you have to provide. Okay. So that's one thing that before this, so maybe before this, I want to tell you general product life cycle. It's more of more like software life cycle you might have went through in your software engineering subject. Okay. So, like in software engineering, you have software life cycle. How all this any software development will work from end to end. Similarly, we have like product life cycle here. It's like it starts from your innovate. Innovate is more of research phase, where we all will sit and brainstorm with n number of ideas. In some cases, we may go through thousands of ideas and then finally come to one single idea that okay, this is the idea we want to work upon. Then obviously once we have picked the idea, then we define the actual problem statement, and then we keep working on that in iterative manner, obviously, right? Like iterative manner, when I say like we want to go with basic POC first, and then if there comes some value from POC, then we want to go with prototype. That's a very first version of a product, right? It's not like any prototype. That's not a sellable product. We cannot really market it, but that's a working product. Okay, prototype should be a working product, which can be a single piece of the product as well. But that has to be there. Then only we get more about it. Okay, we get to know more and more about it. No one knows everything at start. Okay, in product in software life cycle. Generally what happens in software life cycles, we know the requirements quite in advance. Okay, in some cases, at least in water, if some team is following waterfall model, then they know the most of the requirements in advance, they know what to do. Okay, in case of agile also, we know at least the basic requirements for a software. Based on that, we create a first version of software. Then this keep evolving as the new cycles of increments go, right? But in case of product life cycle, we generally do not know all the requirements in start only. Okay, that requirements or new use cases keep evolving as we go with these different phases. So first thing is innovation. Okay, then obviously the design will start. When we say design, it's like all components, be it a UX, be it back-end design, okay, architecture, overall architecture, how you will have your microservices, how microservices will work with each other, right? Uh, how many APIs you will have, how APIs will interact. All that has to be taken care in your design, right? Then once design is done, then obviously development phase starts. And for product manager, it's like governing phase. We need to govern that whatever is being developed is developed in right way or not. And there are different things we need to, like, address, like, timelines, which are like schedule, and then budgeting, whether we are meeting the right budget or not, and the stakeholders and everything. Okay, the user feedback and everything. Then after govern, like, simulations happen for the, like, internet simulations. Then it goes into the after this it goes into the marketing, GTM side. Okay, go to market side. So once we have this cycle, okay, so once we have the prototype, and based on the prototype we get the feedback from users. Okay, then we like, go to repurpose phase. And repurpose is nothing that we need to take care of feedback and add more use cases. Based on that, we need to add more features into product, and this cycle goes on. Okay, and then when we have a very useful or basic saleable product ready, okay, where we have at least the core components ready, and it draws a value from end user perspective. Any business would like to, would want to invest some money on the product. Okay, so that's a phase where we need to reach in stipulated time, right? So then that becomes actually your MVP. Okay, minimum viable product. So once MVP is created and you launch it into the market, you go to the market, and you keep getting user feedbacks, and based on that, this improvement cycle continues. Okay. Now I just went to this slide to understand this, because these pointers may refer to different things. Okay. So now obviously these pointers are talking about more of, like, data, that you need to know all about your data quality issues. If there are data quality issues, then obviously we need to use data quality tools. Like there are multiple data quality tools, like informative data quality and other tools. So using those tools, or in some cases we can use ETL tools also to qualify, like, to rectify the data. Then we will have a cleaner data set. And in some cases we use data mining techniques also to get a better data set. So those are some of the limitations as well, because those challenges, see, in what will happen, like, okay, we can always work towards a problem, but obviously we need to invest more in terms of resources, in terms of that increases the budgeting part of as well, right? So yes, always your decision making, it impacts the decision making, right? It impacts your overall decision making, and how you want to go with. So that decision making is also a part of product management responsibilities. You have to be good at those things at least. Okay, so intuitive understanding, that's all about data. Okay, now this is one thing. That's in case of ML and AI products. Okay, success is not guaranteed. It happens like I think most of the companies, at least the MNCs, are working on AI ML products these days on different use cases. But success is not guaranteed in AI ML product because it's a complex thing. Where it's not simple enough that okay, you develop something, it meets the requirements, and you sell it. Okay, you license it and you keep getting the money. It's not how it works in AIML. And second thing is that it's a high investment thing because you have to have a large team, and you have to have data scientists and AI engineers, which are bit more expensive. So that's something which has to be taken care as part of your plannings. Okay, and another thing is like ROI analysis, which is like return on investment analysis, has to be there in advance. That what will be the returns we will get. So we know like for similar products how much some different companies are charging, right, as part of their chargeback mechanism. So based on that, we know like we have basic ideas about how much we can get once we attain this particular maturity level of the product. If our product is ready to for GTM, then we can actually think of this much money coming in yearly basis. So those estimations, those calculations happen in advance so that we know the ROI. Based on those ROI and all those stuff only, we get the approvals. Otherwise, who will give us money to develop a product? Because see, in IT world, there are two separate worlds, at least in India. Okay, one is service-based industry, and one is product-based. Okay, service-based industry is simple enough because if I'm employee of company A working for client B, and client B is giving $100 to company A, and company is giving $50 to me, part of that, right? So it's like simple enough. $50 they are managing their infra, their other departments, and their margins are into it. So that's a bit like we say that not so high risk thing. But in case of products, it's not the case. In products, it's like total investments will be from company. Okay, you're not getting any money from outside. It's total investment from company, and in that budget only you have to manage developing the product and launching at least the MVP, the initial version. Okay, because after
Okay,
that,
can I interrupt, sir?
yes, yes, please.
How many more minutes you have in your presentation?
I think we are almost done.
Okay, okay.
A slide only because this one we already covered. It's nothing. Okay, so we have already covered most of the points. So I was just telling that from product management's point of view. Okay, it's like product roadmaps. You will have the plans. A roadmap is nothing but the plan with the actual dates and budgeting allocated for each phase. Okay, and all the different things are taken care of as part of the roadmap planning. Uh, so in some cases, what happens is that such products become very huge or complex products. So in such cases, we can split it into like smaller projects, smaller different projects, and some of the like multiple teams work on those projects separately. Then we integrate them together later on, and the product comes into the picture. So that's how that needs to be taken care. Okay. Uh, Now it's like about timing, whether you want to productize, means like whether you want to do the GTM go to market now or much later on. That depends on your maturity level of your product, what kind of feedbacks you got on your prototypes. Okay. Based on that, it's like a product manager or owner who need to decide when to GTM, when to start charging for. So you know that for any product, for example, Chat GPT, you take a Chat GPT, okay? Any product starts with a free only, right? You will get to use it freely without paying any single penny to it, right? It's because it's in that incubation phase. Incubation phase is that these all prototyping phase or MVP phases of a product is incubation phase where a product is still getting mature. It's not that mature that they will start charging money, and because people will not buy them until and unless there is not that much hype or the use or value driven out of the product, no one will buy it, right? So that's what anyone do, like Chat GPT. They have free versions, people have used it, they have marketed it very well, and once it picked up the momentum which it picked up, right? Then they launch a new version like 4.0 and they start charging it. They created two user roles like paid users and free users. Now 4.0 will be accessible to paid users only, right? So obviously there will be many more features in 4.0 because all the user feedbacks are taken care of in 4.0 during that development. So that's how any product start getting monetized. So now it's like keeping track of your dependencies and plan B and all that stuff is like in normal project management stuff which needs to be taken care of. Okay. So with this we come to conclusion. Okay, so when we say product development, is like product development will always remain a green turf for improvements. I mean, like it's not going to that okay we have developed a product, now it's what it is. No, it will always we will always keep adding to it, and that's how product all the product teams has sustenance team. There's like sustenance team is like taking care of any issues which comes in product, as well as developing some of the new features whenever there is some feedback, such feedback. Okay, so with this, like there is a quote from Jeff Bezos. I just found it that if you only do things where you know the answers in advance, okay, then you are like your company goes away. I mean, like you're not going to be there for a long, because you cannot really stick to one thing, and that's why agile. If you learn about agile, okay, agile, there are different methodologies for agile. That's how agile came. Okay, that you cannot really stick to. You have to be flexible. You have to keep working on improvement areas, and that's how this product journey goes on. Okay, so thank you everyone to be with us. Okay, any questions?
Thank you, sir. I guess Monica is having some doubt. Monica, please turn on your microphone.
So my question is, what advice you have for someone who is looking for a career in machine learning?
Okay, so if you are, I think when you say machine learning, you mean technical side, right? You want to be in technical role or managerial side role. Because if it's in technical role, then obviously you have to be pro in all the basics first. Okay, it starts with data analytics. You need to go through data analytics courses, some of the courses. I can share some of the content for you guys for the reference if you want, that I can do after this meeting. Okay, but this is a very vast field. Okay, so first is that you need to you can start with data analytics stuff, and I think these database management system and data warehousing, these are must be part of your syllabus, I think, in engineering. You can focus a bit more on those areas, and then BI visualization, like BI tools you can add in your skills. So when we say data analytics is mix of understanding that data and the use of BI tools. You should be able to use some of the BI tools. So that's what data analytics profile is all about. Then adding to it, then you move towards ML stuff. Okay, so for ML, there are two things. One is machine learning concepts and algorithms, which you need to go through. And second thing is a programming language. Now, most used programming language with ML or in AI field is Python. So I think you need to learn Python and practice it thoroughly. Then there is one more tool or a platform, okay, where you can create ML models and test them out there. Okay, that is TensorFlow. So I would recommend that once you are done with all these things, then you can move towards TensorFlow, learning TensorFlow. Okay, that's a open source platform. You don't need to pay anything there. It's an open source platform. You can develop ML models and test them out there.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. The session was very intriguing and helpful. Ankit, sir, if you would like to say something.
Thank you, Veerendra sir, for coming today and
Thank you,
enlightening
Krishna.
our students with your wise words. We hope that we will be looking in future more such sessions from you. And thank you very much for actually giving us your important time to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. No problem. It's free time only Saturday, sir. कुछ नहीं करता, सोता रहता हूँ फ्री सैटरडे को मैं. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Have a great day, sir.